everyone, good day. We are the Group 5 and today we will be discussing the Victorian Period. Victorian Period is the time in British history when Queen Victoria ruled from 1837 to 1901. So this is Queen Victoria. She was on the throne for over 63 years and she became the Queen of the United Kingdom at the age of 18, making this a long period with many changes. So it is the time when society was divided into social classes. When we were still in high school, if naka-remember mo, is nagtakod na ta aning social classes, katong rich, the middle class, and the poor or the working class. So kani siya nga period or era is in this time, no, their society was very organized into groups or classes. Katong gi-mention ako earlier, katong rich, the middle class, and the poor or the working class. And this kani siya nga group had different roles and lifestyle sa kani nga society. Ang working class or poor is naa siya made up most of the population and also they lived in poor conditions too. People were getting the right to vote. The government and economy were growing and Britain was the strongest empire in the world. Okay, so ordinary people gained the right to vote and have their own decisions. So in this period, like sa gisulti ganiya ha, is it was a period of big changes and improvement as well. Pero naagyapon siya changes, especially katong sa mga working class. During this period, Britain was a strong and wealthy country with a rich culture. Okay, so Britain was a strong and wealthy country. Why? Because obviously, they have industries. Because of its industries and empires too. And kani siya nga country is nagkadako. It is expanding. And it kept adding new lands under its control around the world. Alright, so this period is also known as Industrial Revolution. This period is also called Industrial Period. Why? Because obviously in this period is factories are common and many people moved from farm to cities to find jobs. Victorian period had strict morals. Alright, they had strict morals because Victorian period valued manners, family, and hard works. And despite sa ilahang kastrikto is this period was also a time of rapid change. Katong gi-mention na ako ganiha siya, rapid change with new inventions like trains, mga electric lights, and many more. Britain started losing its top position as a world power. Alright, diba, Britain was known for its, Britain was the most powerful country, Britain is a strong country, Britain is a wealthy country, but they started losing its top position. Their position as the most powerful country started to weaken, especially when the US became stronger. Pero kani siya nga decline didn't become very obvious until naabot ang World War II. Okay, now let's proceed to the notable writers or authors in Victorian period.
1. Charles Dickens is considered the greatest English novelist of the Victorian era. His works are known for their social commentary and memorable characters. 2. Charlotte Bronte is one of the most famous Victorian women writers and a prolific poet. She is best known for her novels including Jane Eyre, 1847, her most popular work. 3. Arthur Conan Doyle, a Scottish writer best known for his creation of the detective Sherlock Holmes, one of the most vivid and enduring characters in English fiction. 4. Jane Austen, one of the most famous writers in English literature. Her books are read by people all over the world and have been adapted into countless TV, film, theater, and radio adaptations. 5. Anthony Trollope became one of the most successful, prolific, and respected English novelists of the Victorian era.
So number 6 is Lewis Carroll, the pen name of Charles Lutwidge Dodson, who lived from 1832 to 1898. He was a teacher and mathematician. He is famous for his book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in 1865, which he wrote for a young girl named Alice Liddell. 7. Wilkie Collins, who lived from 1824 to 1889, was a writer from London who wrote a mystery and detective stories like The Moonstone and The Woman in White. Number 8. Elizabeth Gaskell, who lived from 1810 to 1865. Mrs. Gaskell was a writer of novels and short stories. She was born in Chelsea but suffered a difficult childhood when her mother died just 13 months after Elizabeth's birth. He wrote a book like Cranford and North and South. Number 9. Robert Browning, who lived from 1812 to 1889, was a famous poet of London. He started writing poems when he was 12 years old.
Is the literary work we have chosen from a notable author in Victorian period in Charles Dickens entitled The Great Expectation. Here is the summary of the story. The story follows the life of a young orphan named Pip, who is raised by his sister and her husband in rural England. One day, while visiting the graves of his parents, Pip encounters an escaped convict named Magwitch, who forces him to steal food and a file to help him escape. Later, Magwitch is captured and sent back to prison. Pip's life changes when he is invited to the home of wealthy but eccentric Miss Havisham, who lives in a decaying mansion. There, Pip meets her beautiful but cold-hearted ward Stella and falls in love with her. Though she treats him cruelly, Pip believes that Miss Havisham is preparing him to be a match for Stella, and this idea becomes his great expectation. As Pip matures, he learns that he is the beneficiary of a large fortune from an anonymous benefactor. He moves to London, where he assumes the money is from Miss Havisham. However, he eventually discovers that this true benefactor is Magwitch, the convict he helped years earlier. This revelation shocks Pip, and he grapples with the moral implication of his newfound wealth. As the story unfolds, Pip learns important life lessons about love, loyalty, and personal growth. He realizes that true happiness and worth do not come from wealth or social status, and he works to make amends for his past mistakes. The novel ends with Pip reconciling with Estella, although they are not romantically involved, and he returns his humble roots. So the story Great Expectation is a timeless story that resonates with readers of all ages, reminding us that true fulfillment comes from within and from bonds we create with those who truly matter. The novel explores themes on social class, self-discovery, and the true meaning of expectation. Pip's journey is one of both personal and disillusionment as he learns that true happiness comes not from material possessions but from genuine human connection.
What inspires Charles Dickens to write this kind of literary work? So Charles Dickens inspired to write Great Expectation based on his own experiences as he grew up. So as a child, he experienced hardships, including being poor and having to work in a factory when his father was sent to a prison. This exposed him to harsh realities of working class. So these experiences gave Dickens to understand the social and economic class systems. So he experienced firsthand the challenges of trying to improve one's circumstances, much like people. The title itself is Great Expectations, all due to the societal pressures and the personal ambition that drive the characters. So Dickens explores how these pressures shape individuals' lives. So this story also about Pip's journey, understanding what truly matters in life, moving beyond superficial aspirations to find deeper and more meaningful values.